Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you have a good day. Let's see my face. I'm hoping you're having a great day. Let's get started here. Point it down. Okay, today we're gonna do a simple placemat. Just a simple basic placemat. You can get, sorry about that. You can get any fabric that you would like. 3 coordinated fabrics. Today I think we're gonna do a quick Christmas one. So today I chose buffalo plaid, some ivy, and then this will be the center. So that'll be the center. That is today. I have other ones I can choose because you'll need for center a 3/8 of a yard or a fat quarter. Sides of 3/8 side borders, you need 3/8 of a yard. The top and bottom borders, you need a yard and a fourth, or a half yard overall, or a directional fabric. So that's what you need. If you'd like to follow along and make this too, when you see my video, and then we'll do a second video on how to piece the placemat together with batting and backing. Follow along, and I hope you enjoy this today. Because I also have other ones that I would like to use. Just simple fat quarters would be enough. So you need 3 coordinating fabrics, your 8.5 inch ruler, and also you'll need a second ruler. I get Omni Edge, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a 24.5 inch long ruler. I use this one like all the time for marking and doing all that. So we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna cut out our main fabric. You just need one 8.5 inch square for the middle, just one. So line up our edges. So I'm gonna go with looking like this. I put the one edge on the straight edge of the fabric, but you do not want to cut into this edge here, because that's the edge of the fabric. You'd get white. Just do like half an inch away. I would. So you're gonna cut. I have to get a different cutter or a different blade, because if you have one of these would be really, really good. It's, you can see, Olaf kind of brand. Those are really good for cutting. Otherwise, you have to use the scissors, and that's really hard to do that all the way around the square ruler. I'm going to go back and recut because I have to replace the blade. Okay, so being we're done with this, let's set that aside. So I have an extra one, but I'll use that later. So it should look like this, 8.5 inch square. Cut that out. And what you'll do next is the second coordinating fabric, I chose this one. We're gonna need 8.5-inch strip, so it's a 8.5 wide. You can do it by 5.5. So I do have another ruler. 1 second. So I do have another ruler that's 8.5 wide versus the 4.5. So you can see. Because you can use the 8.5-inch square ruler. You can use that to cut this. Because we only need an 8.5-inch piece by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut this edge off. And the edges off. And so what I'm going to do, see if you have this ruler, you can, let's see here. Maybe I'm going to see if I can show you what I'm doing here. See if we can turn this around. I think I lowered you enough. Because you need a 5 1/4. So what I'm going to do with this one, because you can use any ruler to make it a 5 1/4. Because 5 1/4 is, okay, you can see 5 is right there. There's 5. And you just go up to the first line right next to the 5. So you can do it that way. Just because this is an 8.5-inch wide ruler, and we only need 5 1/4 piece. So being I cut that edge off, so I can line this up in 2 of my corners and have 2 corners to cut. So when you have both your fabrics layered together, you can cut 1 time for that. So now you should have, when they're both layered together, don't open it up like this, because then you have to cut twice. So when it looks like this, wrong sides together, you can cut once. So we're done with that piece, and then now it should look like this, have 2 pieces. So I'm going to raise you up a little bit. There we go. High again. So you have those pieces, and then now we just need let's see. So next step is your third coordinated fabric. I chose this one. Let's see here, fabric C. Okay, we need 3.5-inch strips. So 3.5 inch. So lay it out, wrong sides together. Make them You gotta make sure the sides are lined up. So I'm gonna use this ruler, my one that I love to use. So it said, it's 3-inch strips. We're only making one placemat. This pattern tells you how to make 4, but I like to just make 1. So just cut 1 3-inch strip from our 3rd coordinating fabric. Okay, we're done with this one. Set that aside. So now you should have 1 long strip. So this long strip would be enough for both sides of the tip and the placemat. And like this, I will cut this little edge here. Okay, so now we're gonna take this, our little middle 8-inch square, and we're gonna sew on the sides. So take your pins, pin it for as many as you like. Sometimes I will turn it around and pin. You can pin it one at a time, or like I do here, pin it both times. Okay, I'm going to pause you for a moment. Welcome back. Pause you for a moment. I'm back. We're going to sew these pieces together. And I have a cheat tool on my sewing machine I like to use. I'll show you. So you might be able to get these a few other places, but I'm not sure where. Usually the fabric shops, the mom and pop shops, you can see that. I have this, it sticks in my machine. Just sticks to it, so you can see here. And I love those. That helps keeps my seams straight. You can use whatever color thread because this is the inside. It's no top stitching. So you can use whatever color on the inside for thread. I have, right now, I have kind of a navy blue in my machine. So because it's the inside, you can use whatever thread. Oh, I think I have to rethread this. There you go. Now that's threaded. Let's get this piece together. Make sure you back stitch too. So make sure you take your needle up before you sew over it. Otherwise, you do break needles in the machine. Not the machine, but the needles on it. And make sure your fabric is lined up with the other one and want it even. We're done. Make sure you take your scissors and cut the thread, and then also go back and cut that thread, the starter thread. And the second side, so that part is done. Okay, I'm gonna go iron this and I'll be back. I am back. It's now ironed. Should look like this. It might be upside down, sorry. Your placemat should look like this with both sides. And now we're gonna attach the border. And then make sure it's all even. So then you pin this a few times because it's a little bit longer. And yeah, I didn't cut this piece off. See, I didn't cut this piece off at first. So I always put it on my fabric first because I've done it before where I cut it, what the pattern says, and it's too short. I've done that before. So I kind of wait until I pin it on when I'm using it for. So you can do it that way, or that strip is at 3-inch wide strips to 18-inch strip. So that it says 18, the length. So 3 wide and 18 long. You can do it that way too, if your precise measurements are correct every time you cut. And if you would like this pattern, just give me a shout, give me a comment, and email, and I'll email it out to you. Now that is pinned on. Now we're gonna do a cut. There you go. Move it back over here a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So now we're gonna sew the sides on, which is also the border, side borders. This is a Brothers sewing machine, also embroidery. I use this machine all the time. That's one of my favorites. I have older ones. I have about 5 different machines. One is a quilting machine, industrial sewing machine, what you call a serger. Probably 3 older ones too that are put away for the time being. As you can see, I love sewing machines. I love to sew. So why not teach you guys how to sew too? So that is done. Grab my scissors. And now we're gonna do the other side. Why don't you please leave me a comment on what you would like to see sewn and made next. Like a pillowcases, more placemats, table runners, because I have a couple simple table runners that are not too hard. They're pretty simple and they're fun. 3-yard quilt. What would you like made and learn how to learn to sew? What would you like to learn? Hope you all having a good day. It was pretty stormy here last night. We were up for a little bit because we had some tornado warnings, a lot of rain. Now today it's sun shining, puddles in the yard after a really strong rain and no hail, but a lot of tornado warnings, that's for sure. And that was till about 9:30 last night. Like from 7 at night to about 9:30. So this is done. I'll be right back. Well, now we are done. Your placemat should look like this. I tip you up. Placemat should look like this. And you follow along for part 2 of how to, the back should look like this. Wrong side. And the right side. So you follow along for part 2. I'll show you how to baste this with batting. Heat safe batting, so you can use it on the table and it's not going to hurt your table because it's 100% cotton. And do not use that lofty batting that you find at like Walmart that comes in a bag. Don't use that. I would not use that because it might fall apart when you wash it. But more importantly, it's not really heat safe if you use placemats on the table or table runners. That's what I like to use in table runners. And many other things I've used that for. So you can find that at Joann's Fabric, Walmart, maybe Walmart, but get the, I'll show you. You can get it at Walmart. It is called, has a picture of a potato on it. I can't remember what it's called because I don't have it at the top of my head. But thank you for joining me. I hope you come back for part 2. We'll talk to you later.